Hi Cancer, welcome to your February 2018 reading. Now before I begin, which I already did, I'm so upset because I started this video and my camera just decided to not record and turn itself off. I've been having so much trouble with my technology lately, it's so frustrating. But I was basically talking to you guys and nothing was being recorded. So let me just tell you what I was saying. So as I was shuffling your cards, basically what I was saying was I'm really excited for you this month, really excited. And I just, every time I was thinking about doing your reading, I kept smiling and I just got this really, pardon my French, fucking amazing energy, like really, really good. And then these are the three cards that fell out as I was shuffling. So I like to put the cards that fall out to the side because I feel like they're going to help me clarify. I'm praying that my camera decides to behave. Please, please behave, because this is so important to me and I'm really excited about this reading. Let me just check he's still going. Yep, he is. Okay, good. Right. Okay, now let's get on with this. So these are the three that fell out, which might help us clarify. In fact, I can see they will already. This is how you're coming in this month, right? And I love this card for you because we've got a partial solar eclipse at mid-month, okay? I love this. I love the symbology. We'll talk about it in a minute. We also had 2 lunar eclipses in January. This is the environment, okay? This is the environment around you. This is the people in your environment. And this is what can help or hinder you. This is kind of like advice to a certain extent, you know? And then this is how you can, your best possible outcome for the month. So, Cancer, without further ado, I'm so sorry that you didn't get to see you know, the proper intro, but hey ho, we're here now. Wow, Cancer, so this confirms everything I was feeling. I was really excited as I was shuffling your cards. I was talking to you guys even though you don't know it and saying I have really good feelings, and I am completely right. You've pulled, well, 2 major arcana cards here, which we'll go on to talk about, which will help us clarify. But basically, Cancer, you're starting the reading. You are starting the reading, and you're starting with the 8 of Cups, and you are going in search of something. Something is being left behind. Now, this to me makes so much sense because so many of you Cancers, you know, we've had major lunar energy, haven't we? And you know, you are so connected to the moon, and I feel like something has been eclipsed out of your life, whether it is an aspect of yourself that was no longer serving you, a relationship, a job. But I really feel, Cancers, I so feel you here. I feel like you're like, nah, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. That's not for me. I'm going in search of that other cup. I know now what fulfills me emotionally and I'm ready to go after it. I've got these, I've got my 8 cups here. I'm going to go collect my 9th and, you know, and be on my way to completion. I love this, Cancer. This really speaks to you being in tune with the energies that are in the universe right now. You're going to hear my voice go louder every now and then because I'm going to keep checking my camera because I'm paranoid now. But this is you really working with that energy. I feel like some of you had some really strong starts to this year. And I feel like Cancer's confidence has shot up enormously. Now, you know, we've got strength here, which is telling me that you are feeling strong enough to do something you haven't done before. I feel there are huge changes that are happening or have happened or about to happen with Cancer. And it's all starting on an emotional level. Okay, so this isn't like I'm just going to quit my job or I'm just going to move to a different place type thing. It's not just like a random decision. This has been building up for a while. This has been building up for quite some time. So whether it was that you had a habit of getting into codependent relationships or relationships that were unhealthy or attracting narcissists, you know, you've been learning lessons, Cancer, you know, or it could even be like whether you've been putting your dreams on hold or you kept on saying, oh, you know, I'm not confident enough to go after starting up that project, starting up that business. This has been building up and you've been having some tough lessons over the past few years in order to build you up to that point where eventually you go, do you know what? I'm so sick of settling for second best relationship or second best job or not feeling good about myself. I quit this negative chat. I quit putting myself around negative people, because yes, I am loving, I am compassionate, I am caring, I am by my very nature somebody who cares for others and has time for those who are wounded, because I understand pain. But yet, you know what? I've been through so much pain. I don't need to take on anybody else's anymore. It's almost like saying I don't equate being a good person with having to be entangled with other people's emotional dramas and difficulties. So it's almost like it's saying I'm done with this lesson. I have learnt and I know my worth now, and I'm going in search of the things that reflect my value and my worth, rather than giving my time to situations which ultimately only drain me. So I love this. I love this for you. This is brilliant. I knew this would be a great reading. I'm so excited. Right, okay. So in your environment, we've got the Five of what is it? Wands. We've got the Five of Wands. Bear in mind that I'm reading this way up, so for you, you're gonna be looking at it upside down. But it's reversed, so I like this as well, right? This to me echoes this. This is, I don't have time for any of your nonsense anymore. Right? This is your environment. I feel like the universe is protecting you as well from people who might be unnecessarily confrontational, people who might be gossiping, backstabbing, involved in a lot of drama. It's almost like you know you don't want it anymore and you're not interested and you're walking away from it. Okay, you're saying, I'm following my guidance. I'm following my intuition, and the universe is saying, you know what, amen, I'm smiling on you. I love that you've got the strength to do that. These people who maybe once were in your environment, or the stuff that might be going on, whether it's at your workplace, whether it's amongst your friends, your neighborhood, your community, you're kind of being protected from this, I feel Cancer, like it's like you don't even realize it, but you're like swerving it, you know? Like you might walk into a room and it'd be a really lovely atmosphere, but like literally 5 minutes beforehand, there were people bitching and sniping at each other, but you wouldn't even know it because the universe is just moving, it's just moving you in such a way that you're not even bumping into that kind of energy. So I really like this. So this is saying to me, you don't need to be involved in unnecessary conflict. It's not about that anymore. And it's not about fighting anymore. It's not about trying to, because you know what, Cancer, can I tell you something? And I know this, you know, because I'm a Cancer moon, so I've got very strong Cancer placement. Now, sometimes, checking again, yeah, we're good. Now, sometimes because of the fact that we understand pain and suffering, and we're so we have such powerful emotions ourselves, sometimes we get drawn to people who are in states of crises, yeah, in crisis situations, and we want to help heal them. We want to help them see their own beauty and their own strength, right? But sometimes we can end up actually trying to pull them up in a way that creates suffering and conflict, sometimes with them as well as ourselves. And now it's almost like Cancers are saying, I feel like Cancers are becoming selfish this year, and I love it. I love it. I feel like Cancers are becoming selfish because I feel like you're going, you know what, I don't care anymore. You figure it out yourself. You guys fight amongst yourselves. You can fight amongst the scraps. I'm not looking for a finite life. I'm looking for an infinite life. So I'm going to go in search of that infinite life and those infinite possibilities. Meanwhile, you guys can fight amongst the scraps. You can continue in your lack mentality. I'm not having any part of this. And I feel like a big reason why is because of this dude here, right? I feel like a lot of you Cancers have had dealings with air signs that have been emotionally shut off, emotionally manipulative, people very cerebral, very appear very intelligent, but who've been very manipulative. I feel like a lot of you have got involved with very manipulative people. Now this could be their sun sign, their moon sign, or their rising sign. I feel like it's probably going to be more relevant if it's their moon or sun sign, especially if it's their moon sign. But no, I'm going to say moon and sun sign. I feel like some of you have had dealings with people who are Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, either sun, moon, or rising, but most strongly I'm feeling sun or moon. and you have maybe had relationships with these people, friendships with these people, business dealings with these people, and they have not been honest. And it's not because they're not honest people. Now, this is the interesting thing, and this is what got you hooked in the first place, I'm feeling, Cancer. It's not because they're not honest people, but it's because they're not honest with themselves. And how can someone be honest with you if they're not being honest with themselves? So they play games and they're manipulative, and they've been manipulative in their dealings with you. And you've seen there's been good in these people. And that's why you got involved. That's why you got amongst the fray. And then it's like there's only so much battling one can take before they go, do you know what? You figure it out on your own. So I feel like this person's actually been a really good catalyst. Now, some of you might have had dealings with many people like this. It doesn't even have to be this particular, it doesn't even have to be air signs particularly, but I'm talking about people who are manipulative, people who are narcissistic, people who are they're great with the chat, great with the chat, lots of promises, lots of empty promises, selling you the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and never coming through on an emotional level. Now, this could also relate to business as well. Somebody who you've been dealing with who just was not coming through, and you're thinking, I can do this on my own. So, I really like this. We're still on? Yeah, we're still on. Okay, cool. And now, so this is your advice. You can see how fast I'm talking. I'm excited. So this is your advice card, okay? So now this is, I like this because this is like, look at the cards which really which are reflecting you, I feel in this. This is very much about standing on your own, Cancer. And not in a negative way. But I feel like this is about standing on your own, being true to yourself. And, you know, you're thinking now about what you want from the world. Where am I going? What journey is it that I want to undertake with everything that I've learned? See, that these both to me speak of journeys, you know? Here he's setting off on a journey to find that ninth cup. Here, you know, he's kind of pondering the possibilities. And his ships are, you know, it's like, what was I going to say? Yeah, he's pondering the possibilities, and there's a vast landscape in front of him. You know, and look at the way he's dressed and cloaked. You know, this is somebody with experience. This is somebody with a wealth of knowledge and experience who there's a feeling of worldliness about them, you know, and they're cultured. So this says to me, you're experienced. You know, you're experienced in whatever it is, whether it's life, love, whatever. You are experienced. You are exactly where you need to be. You've got those cups behind you. And now it's like, where am I going to go next? Because now that I've freed up so much energy by no longer concentrating on getting involved in these situations with manipulative people, with backstabbing people, with people I can't trust. Now I've got so much energy to put into my future. So where am I going? Now this also says to me, Cancer, that, you know, this can be about, this is about negotiating, you know, it's about negotiating with people, you know. So if you're feeling inspired to start something, whether it's a project, I'm not seeing much in terms of love, just to give you a heads up, okay? I'm not really interested in love this month for you guys. You might be, but I'm not, because I think there are far more interesting things going on. But if you're interested, if you're thinking about starting some sort of a project or hooking up with somebody to collaborate, fantastic, okay? So this is about making sure you're on the same page. And I would suggest making sure you're on the same page with anybody who's coming into your life now. And the reason why is because you've done enough of this. And part of the reason why these things happened and why you had these experiences was because you weren't on the same page with these people. And deep down intuitively, Cancer, you knew it. Your intuition is so strong. You knew it, but you thought, you know what? I'm a caring person. I'm a loving person. I'm going to be here anyway. I'm going to help them anyway, even if they're not on the same page as me. Even if they're self-destructive and I want to help heal, you know, or I want us to grow together. You know, that was part of the problem. And so in a sense, you have to take some ownership there. You know, we can't, when people show us who they are, we have to believe them. And I think sometimes, Cancer, the problem is you wanna see the best in people, and sometimes it means that you don't face the reality of what's going on with them. Okay, so now this is saying, right, now you've learned this, make sure that whoever enters your life now, whether it's business partnerships, work colleagues, whatever, friendships, romance, make sure that who you let into your space and your circle from now on is someone who's on the same page as you, so that you can have win-win situations, so that you're inspiring each other, you're growing together. People who are passionate about life like you are, people who inspire you to reach your goals and your dreams and to get to your destination, right? Ones are about inspiration, about passion, about moving forward and creativity. You are moving forward, Cancer. You are moving forward, all right? And do you know what was really cool? This morning, I actually saw an awesome Instagram post by from Will Smith. And what did he say? He was talking about, look at the people around you. They're either pissing are they putting logs on your fire, or are they pissing on your fire? And it is so true, you know, and it's that saying of like, hang around with 6 millionaires, the five millionaires, you'll become the sixth. Hang around with 5 geniuses, you'll become the sixth. Hang around with 5 idiots, you'll become the sixth. This is now, Cancer, it's time for you to get selfish and really picky about who you let into your circle and your life and who you negotiate any kind of contract with. Everything is a contract, whether it's a friendship or whatever. Make sure you're on the same page and it's mutually satisfying, beneficial, and it's inspiring you to be the best self that you can be, okay? And, you know, I just see you focusing your energy. You're focusing on what you want. You're focusing on your money. You're focusing on your career. You're focusing on getting your finances in order. You're focusing on your stability. Some of you might well be working quite hard at something, at some sort of a project. I feel like some of you might have some passion projects that you're, let me just check my camera. Yeah, might have some passion projects, sorry, that you're loving doing. And that is a really positive sign too, you know? So keep going at those. If there's anything, if you're starting an online business, if you're starting any side of business, if you're doing any self-start stuff, if you are training for something, fantastic, keep working at it. Keep yourself focused. This is what I'm interested in for this month for you. Look at this. This is somebody who's daring to tread their own path, bold enough to go alone, right? Listening to their intuition, thinking about their future, getting passionate and inspired about it, and working towards it. I love this combination. Cups, Wands, Pentacles. I love it. This is you. You can have focused energy, and I feel like the universe is on your side, and I'm so happy for you, Cancers. I really do. And I feel like this is a thing of the past, and you don't need to go here anymore. I really don't. Okay, I feel like a lot of you have had dealings with air signs or people who represent that air quality who've been very manipulative. Now, what have these cards fell out, right? Are we still recording? Yeah. Sorry about that. I have to keep doing it. So these cards fell out. So this really, to me, is brilliant. So this is saying to me, strength. Well, I think it's pretty obvious. You know, Cancer, I think you found a new source of strength within yourself that doesn't depend on the opinions of others. It doesn't depend on having to help somebody else or drag yourself through the gutter in order to try and help somebody else. This is about you coming into your own. So I really like this. And I feel like, you know, this month might not be the most sociable month for some of you, right? Let me just, hang on a minute. I was reaching for something earlier because I wanted to look at my astrology. I just remind myself of what was going on with you astrologically. Yeah. Ah, brilliant. Your 9th house is going to be activated towards the end of the month, which is brilliant because this really speaks to me of 9th house. This is travel, this is plans, this is Sagittarian kind of fire, broad thinking qualities. So I like that. And I feel like this month is going to be about you concentrating on you, mainly focusing on you, your goals, your dreams, your desires, your emotional fulfillment, what you need, your intuition, working hard for what you want. But I feel like there are going to be people who will come into your life and I feel like it'll be a select few. This is what I like. I don't think there's going to be lots and lots and lots of people around you. I feel like you're being very selective, and you're going to, because of the fact that you're done with people who just do not keep it moving, people who don't push for their goals, people who don't inspire you, people who don't lift you up, people who aren't healthy, people who just, you know, are allowing themselves to just, you know, stagnate because you're not messing with them anymore. You're going to start valuing so much the people who you have got and have chosen to be in your life, and you're going to be, I think there will be moments to celebrate this month. So I see some of you spending time, quality time, with people who mean a lot to you. Now, I feel like some of you could be catching up with people from, like, friends you haven't seen in a long time, but I'm not seeing big groups. I'm seeing it's almost like, it's like the golden circle. It's the inner clique. It's like, these are my homies. These are people who, when we talk to each other, we lift each other up. We're here for each other. These are people who like me are growing spiritually, emotionally, who want something out of themselves in life. It's a select few, and I love that. So I feel like these people, right? These people, I feel like they're being replaced with quality, right? And it's going to fill you up emotionally and make you feel so much better. And quality over quantity, anytime, Cancer. In fact, I might call the video quality over quantity. We'll see, because there's so much I could say, really. Now we've got death in reverse. So death in reverse says to me, right, so death is transformation, okay? Now, it's, I'm feeling like, so this card is ruled by Scorpio. Now, this could be somebody with Scorpionic energy coming in, but I don't feel like it's so much talking about that. I feel like more this is, I feel like this is almost like a reminder for you to, you need to let go. So if you get any temptation to start thinking about this person, to start, because, you know, thoughts, Jesus, man, we can spiral with our thoughts, and before we know it, we're stressed out and we're angry, and we don't know, and the reason why is because we just went down a train of thought. Allow yourself to fully, he did it, Cancer, he turned himself off, I told you he would. Okay. Anyway, we're near the end. But anyway, what I was saying was, death in reverse is saying to me that I'm sensing you are there. I mean, look at this. I love this for you. I'm sensing you are there, right? But it's almost like there's a little tiny bit of you that won't let go. Now, this could be anything. I've spoken a lot about relationships, but this can also be, let me say, if you had a habit, and if you had an addiction to something, anything that you know has not been serving you, and you Cancers know what it is. There's something that has played out in your life for a while now that hasn't been serving you. It could be a multitude of things. It could be relationships. It could be an addiction as well. And maybe those two things go hand in hand, you know? Sometimes we find people who are a certain way because we're kind of addicted to being treated that way. Or sometimes, you know, we'll drink a lot as a result of being in a really rubbish relationship, and the two go hand in hand. But you know, whatever it is, this is saying surrender completely. Surrender yourself completely to this fresh start. Surrender yourself completely to the universe, to this process. What do you think those full moon lunar eclipses were in your sign? What do you think they were about? That was a fresh start for you, Cancer. The universe is saying, let's wipe this slate clean. So for any of you who are hanging on to anything, be it a behavior, something, I don't know, like an addiction, a relationship, a course of action career-wise that you don't like, anything, right? Surrender completely to this transformative process. Turn this upside down. Surrender completely to it. And trust, because the universe is on your side. And as I'm saying this to you, something in my heart is like, it's almost like I can feel water just washing through my body and just kind of, I can't explain it. It's like it's going whoo, like that out, right? And this is saying to me, this is basically a message I'm getting, and I feel like it's my guides, and it's the universe saying to me, they want me to translate to you that you need to allow yourself to be washed completely, I don't want to say clean, but just to be washed completely clear, okay? And it's scary sometimes, and I know this because sometimes when we transform, the ego goes, but if I allow myself to transform, I won't know who I am anymore. You know, I knew who I was when I was in that relationship, even though it was unhealthy, or when I had that addiction, or when I was in that job that made me unhappy, or when I lived in that place that made me unhappy, or when I associated with those people who weren't good for me. Okay, it wasn't good for me, but at least the ego's like, I know who I was. I feel though for a lot of you, for most, if not all of you actually, the fear of the unknown is becoming far more minuscule in comparison to the fear of repeating the same cycles over and over again. So it's almost like, and this is what I was saying about this guy here, he's sick of it. It's almost like you had to go through it maybe 8 times until you were sick of it. And you're like, no. Or for 8 years. Or with 8 people, you know? It's almost like, no. And it's sometimes we have to do that. We have to do something again and again and again and again and again until we just go, you know what? I am sick of the pain that this puts me in. I no longer fear the transformational process. I embrace it because it's not worth enduring that pain anymore and being stuck. So don't, if you are holding on in any way, surrender completely. And instead of thinking, instead of identifying with who you once were that kept you trapped in those situations, start asking new questions. Start asking yourself, all right, well, obviously I'm not who I was a month ago, a year ago, and I'm changing. And say to yourself, you know, I accept that I don't know who this new person is, but I'm getting to know her or him. You know, what does she like? What does he like? What things make him or her feel good? You know, find out about this new person that you are transforming into. Okay? One thing that I know, I can tell you that this person likes and enjoys is people of quality who celebrate and cheer them on, who they can celebrate and cheer on too. People who are of good, wholesome, high stature. Okay? That's a starting point, right? So that's what I've got to say for you, Cancers. I'm so pleased with your reading. I knew it. I knew it was going to be great. I was so excited. And work is working for you. So I don't feel like I need to say too much there. Keep doing what you're doing. For those of you, let me say actually, this relates more to those of you who are self-starting, have your own business, or are doing something on the side, be it creatively or otherwise. And if you're not, and you've been thinking about it, start it. Pour your energy into there. Start building up your life. And screw these people. Screw these people. These are just, we don't need them, okay? I shouldn't treat my cards like that, but that's what it made me want to do. Because it's like, just toss them out. This is so old news. It's so old news, I can't even tell you how old it is. It's like, this is a past life for you now. This is gone, right? This is gone. Now it's about your search, your adventure, your skills, your path, your creativity, your transformation, because we're going to turn that one upright, okay? Your transformation, the people who are of quality, who celebrate you, who you can celebrate, and your strength to be true to yourself and to put yourself first for a change, Cancer. I hope you enjoyed that reading. I really enjoyed giving it to you. And something I wanted to share with you actually is, I'm going to show you these. So these are some flowers that were left for me. I work as a receptionist and these were left for me where I work, right? And I don't know why, but I wanted to show Cancer this at the beginning of the video, and I did, but obviously you guys didn't see that bit because it cut out. Okay, how pretty are those? How sweet is that? How lovely is that? Now, the reason I kind of wanted to show you those was because we are being blessed. You are getting blessings from places. The universe is on your side, and little things like that sometimes, even though they might seem random and irrelevant, little things like that. Don't ignore symbols of people just doing nice things out of the goodness of their heart. It's a sign that the universe is trying to give you blessings. And also the other reason I wanted to show you those flowers was because what I love about flowers is they remind us to, you know, when we look at plants, they grow up towards the sun. They don't stop to look at what everyone else is doing and getting involved in their business and their bushes and their leaves and their twigs. They're like, whatever. I've got one goal, one aim, and that is to get to as close as that sun as possible. So I'm going to shoot up. They don't go sideways like, well, you know, they kind of do, some of them, but you know my point. They shoot up and they celebrate life and they celebrate their own expression of life, however that is translated by them. Okay, so this is kind of the message that I'm getting for you guys, you know. And part of the reason I want to show you those flowers. Flowers grow up, they grow tall, they grow, they do their thing regardless of what anybody else around them is doing. They allow themselves to bloom, blossom, and shine. So this is what it's about for you. It's not about the infighting. It's not about this. Leave them alone. Let them do their thing. It's time for you to shine. okay, and really blossom. I love you, Cancer. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back next month. I hope that resonated with you. Much love, guys. Bye bye.